I just wanted to help my sister prepare for a job interview. But as soon as I mentioned her tone of voice, she ran out in tears. And a week later, I learned that I was now a toxic manipulator. Do you think she regretted it? She asked me for help with her job interview, and 7 days later I was labeled a toxic manipulator and iced out of my own family. I didn't yell, I didn't insult her, I just said one sentence that apparently shattered everything. If you've ever been blindsided by someone you love rewriting history in real time, yeah, you're gonna want to read this. I swear I didn't go in there to ruin anything. I wasn't looking for a fight, I just wanted to help. Shirley, 20F, my little sister, has always been kind of sensitive. That's the nice word. The real one is volatile, like the kind of person who cries when you ask if she's okay but screams if you don't. And I, 23 million, I've always been the one to fix things. The calm one, the oldest, the guy with the steady hands and too many tabs open in his brain. So when Shirley asked me to help prep for her job interview, some entry-level marketing thing downtown, I was actually excited. I mean it. She asked me, not mom, not her friends, me. I felt useful. Like maybe she was finally starting to trust me. We were in our parents' living room, her laptop open, a resume template half-filled, Shirley curled up in this giant sweater like she was trying to disappear. I brought snacks, I made jokes, I kept it light. She was anxious, sure, but we were vibing. Until she read out one of her sample responses, some answer to, "Tell me about a time you handled a challenge." And I gently said, "Hey, maybe just watch your tone on that one. You kind of sound like you're apologizing for existing." Her face just froze. She blinked. Twice. Then she stood up, said, "Thanks for nothing," and walked out of the room. At first I thought it was a joke. Shirley's done drama before. Slamming doors, eye rolls, the occasional loud sigh that lasts a full minute. But this was different. No stomping, no yelling, just gone. She left the house, took her keys, her phone, didn't say a word to our parents, just dipped. And I stood there, blinking at the blinking cursor on her laptop screen, wondering if I'd just detonated a landmine I didn't even know existed. So here's the thing. I didn't even try to chase her. That sounds bad, I know. But you have to understand, this wasn't new. Shirley has always treated vulnerability like it's a trap. Like if you get too close, she'll snap just to prove she can. And I've spent too many years being the emotional crash mat for everyone in this house. Still, I figured she just needed space. A walk. A venting sesh with her group chat. But when she wasn't back by midnight, I started to worry. Not full-blown panic, but enough to ask my mom, "Did she say anything to you?" Mom just shrugged and said, "She's always been dramatic." Like it was a punchline, not a red flag. The next morning, no text, no update. She ghosted me, ghosted everyone. And then the real gut punch. By noon, she had unfollowed me on Instagram. Not muted, unfollowed. Shirley doesn't even unfollow her exes. That's when I knew something was off. Over the next few days, the silence turned sticky. My mom started acting weird, extra chipper when I was around, overly interested in whether I was doing okay, which is her tell when something's brewing. My dad didn't say a word, but I caught him giving me side eyes like I'd broken something valuable. Then the kicker. A message from one of Shirley's friends, this girl Elena I barely know, saying, "Hey, not to get in the middle, but I think you should know Shirley's been really upset. She feels like you tried to sabotage her interview." What? The actual hell? I didn't respond. I couldn't. My stomach dropped like I'd swallowed a sink. Sabotage? I told her to sound more confident. That's not sabotage, that's basic coaching. But the word stuck in my brain like a thorn. Sabotage. And suddenly, everything made sense. The silence, the distance, the weird looks. Shirley hadn't just been hurt, she'd decided I was the villain. And let me tell you something, once someone labels you toxic, no explanation matters. Every memory gets rewritten. Every joke becomes a jab. Every word turns into a weapon. By the end of the week, I wasn't her brother anymore. I was the enemy. And that's when I found out she was telling people I manipulated her on purpose to make her fail. That's when something in me snapped. You ever watch someone rewrite history in real time? Like, just take your face, your words, your entire relationship, and turn it into some twisted narrative where you're the villain in a movie you didn't even audition for? That's what it felt like watching my own sister torch me in the group chat. It started when my cousin Matt posted a dumb meme. Some, "when your sibling's your built-in best friend" Hallmark crap. And I commented with a laughing emoji. I wasn't even thinking, just muscle memory. 2 minutes later, Shirley drops in with, "Some of us have siblings who manipulate our insecurities for fun, so maybe check your privilege." I swear to God, my jaw hit the floor. Nobody said anything at first, just awkward little emoji reactions. The passive-aggressive silence of people who want the tea but don't want the splash. Then my aunt, who always tries to mediate by siding with whoever cries first, chimes in with, "Let's try to be kind, Shirley. I'm sure your brother didn't mean to hurt you." Didn't mean to. Like, the damage is a given. It's just the intent that's up for debate. I sat there staring at my phone like it was going to apologize. Then I left the chat. I didn't say a word. Didn't defend myself. I just exited the digital courtroom where I'd already been sentenced without trial. Later that night, I got the DM from Shirley. All lowercase, no punctuation. "You made me feel small on purpose. You always do. And you call it help." I just stared at it, reread it, screenshot it. I didn't know if I wanted to scream or cry or drive somewhere and keep going. I didn't reply. What do you even say to that? Sorry you misunderstood? Sorry I didn't coddle you enough? Sorry I expected you to be stronger than you felt? Number? I stayed quiet, and that silence was its own kind of detonation. That was 3 days ago, and tonight, I got a message from my mom. Shirley told me everything. I didn't want to believe it, but, "Stephen, we raised you better than this." I laughed. Out loud. Alone. In the dark. Because everything wasn't what happened. Everything was Shirley's script, and they were all acting in it now. That's when I realized I wasn't just cut off. I'd been erased. Update 1. Okay. South. Some of y'all said I should just clear the air. Others told me to go no contact or burn it all down and salt the earth. Not gonna lie, tempting. But here's the thing. I tried being the bigger person for 23 years. I tried biting my tongue, fixing everything, playing nice. And for what? To be labeled toxic for one offhand comment? So yeah, I'm done. Not explosive, not messy, just strategic. If she wants a narrative, I'll give her one she won't forget. You ever have a moment where you're halfway through a sandwich and suddenly think, this is the last normal meal I'll have before everything changes? That was me Thursday afternoon. Subway turkey, 1 bite left, and my phone buzzed with a notification from Shirley's Instagram story. I should have ignored it. But of course I didn't. It was a selfie. Her ring light glow, perfectly curled hair, captioned, "Interview went okay. Shout out to the people who believed in me, not the ones who tried to tear me down." I stared at it for so long the screen dimmed. She hadn't blocked me. She wanted me to see it. Wanted the passive-aggressive knife twist. The glitter-covered backhand. I didn't even finish the sandwich. Just shoved the wrapper into the trash and sat there, staring at the kitchen counter like it was going to give me instructions. I'd been thinking for days. How do you fight back when the story already has you as the villain? How do you prove you were just trying to help when your own family has collectively decided you're poison? Answer, you don't. You step back. And then you start pulling the pins quietly. Because here's the thing. I'm not just Shirley's brother. I'm the guy who spent years being the tech translator, the financial advisor, the emergency ride, the silent fixer. I've got the family passwords memorized. I set up mom's online banking. I managed the shared Hulu. I installed dad's smart thermostat. Shirley's resume? I designed the template. Her interview prep folder? That was on my Google Drive. And slowly, I started reclaiming every thread of myself they'd woven into their lives. First was the drive. The shared one with all the family stuff. Tax documents, vacation itineraries, Shirley's portfolio. I downloaded my parts, pulled my access, and deleted the rest. Nothing dramatic, just gone. Then the subscriptions. I didn't cancel anything. I just changed the passwords and removed my card info. If they noticed, they didn't say. Probably thought it was a glitch. I unlinked from every group calendar, shut off family tracking apps, logged out of the group Spotify. That one hit fast. Shirley posted a cryptic tweet about freeloaders ruining the vibe. I didn't even flinch. And then I found the voice memo. It was buried in my phone backups. An old recording from 3 weeks ago when Shirley called me in tears about this guy she liked ghosting her. She'd asked me to record a mock interview over FaceTime to distract her. Somewhere in the middle of it, she ranted about how fake everyone at home was. How mom only supported her when there were photos involved. How dad never listened unless she cried. How she felt like no one took her seriously. Her voice was raw, honest. She'd said things I hadn't dared speak aloud. I listened to it twice, heart thudding like I was holding something radioactive. I didn't send it to anyone. I didn't even save it anywhere new. But I let it remind me. She knew what our family was like. She trusted me enough to say it out loud. Once. And now she'd rewritten it all into some fairy tale where I was the villain trying to sabotage her shot at a life. That's when I knew I wasn't just done helping. I was done pretending. By Saturday, I was packed. Not to move out. I already had my own place. But I cleared the last of my stuff from the family house. My spare key on the counter, my hoodie from the coat closet, even the mug with my name on it that Mom used to pretend was sentimental. I didn't leave a note. I didn't text goodbye. I did one thing, though. I uploaded a private Google Doc. Shared it only with Shirley. Title: For When You Remember Who I Really Was. It had no text, just the date we filmed that mock interview, the timestamp where her rant started. I didn't explain it. Didn't guilt trip her. Just left it there. I logged out of our shared family drive and clicked Leave Folder. Done. I thought it would take longer. Honestly, I expected a slow burn. A few weeks of radio silence. Maybe a passive-aggressive phone call from my mom asking why the Netflix wasn't working. Or a guilt-tripped "We miss you" group message wrapped in boomer emojis. Something tame. But the universe, or maybe karma, had other plans. It started with a text, Sunday morning, from an unknown number. Just 2 words. You petty. I knew it was Shirley. Only she would drop a one-liner like that without context or punctuation, like she was the one wounded. Like I'd slapped her across the face with a reminder of her own hypocrisy. I didn't reply. What was I supposed to say? Sorry I didn't keep pretending you didn't gut me in front of our whole extended family? No thanks. By noon, she'd moved to Instagram again. A post this time. Her, in a coffee shop, laptop open, captioned, "Some people want to be part of your success just so they can say they helped. Cut them off and thrive anyway." The comments were full of the usual fake deep affirmations. So proud of you, girl, and keep those boundaries. Even a heart emoji from my cousin Becca, who once called me crying when Shirley stole her concert tickets and blamed it on a glitch. Still, I didn't respond. But Shirley, she wasn't done. That night my mom called. I let it go to voicemail. Her message was short, clipped. "We need to talk. I think you've said enough without saying anything at all." And here's the kicker. When I checked my email later, I saw a shared link notification from Shirley. Same Google Doc. She'd opened it, then left a comment. One line. "You really think I'm the villain?" And for a second, I won't lie, it got to me. Because no, I didn't think she was the villain. Not in the cartoon black and white way. Shirley wasn't evil. She was insecure, spoiled, loved loudly and inconsistently. She needed applause to feel okay, and when she didn't get it from me, she called it sabotage. But I didn't reply. I clicked resolve on her comment and left it at that. The next 48 hours? Chaos. My dad texted asking why he couldn't log into his investment app. I said, "You'll need to reset the password. I'm not managing that anymore." He didn't reply. My aunt emailed me asking why our shared Dropbox folder was gone. I told her I took my things offline for personal reasons. I hope you understand. She left me on red. Then Tuesday night, I got a call from someone I hadn't heard from in years. Josh. My cousin. Used to be close. Used to crash at my apartment during his messy divorce. He was calm, direct. "Hey man, just wanted to say, I saw the doc. Shirley sent it to Mom before she could delete it. People are talking." I froze. "What do you mean she sent it?" "She screenshotted part of it. The transcript. The rant. Sent it in the wrong group chat apparently. You know how Aunt Lisa is? She forwards everything." My heart sank. It was never meant to be shared. I didn't want to ruin her. I wanted her to remember, to reflect, to realize that I'd never tried to destroy her. I'd protected her more times than she probably even knew. Now people were texting me, messaging. "Hey, I didn't know it was that deep. Wish I'd said something sooner. You didn't deserve that." Shirley hadn't messaged again. But then, Thursday, I got the second bombshell. A real email, professional looking, from a recruiter. Not spam. Apparently, Shirley listed me as a reference. And I quote, "She was very emotional during the mock interviews and it raised some concerns. I'd like to ask about her professionalism under pressure." I stared at that email like it was a trap. Because that's the thing about trying to burn bridges while you're still standing on them. Eventually, the smoke catches up. I didn't trash her. I said she was creative, passionate, sometimes reactive under stress, which is all true. But I didn't lie. I didn't protect her either. I hit send. No idea if she'll get the job. No idea if she even knows I was contacted. But I do know this. She can't claim I sabotaged her. Not when she picked the match and dropped it herself. Update 2. South. She finally texted. No big speech, no explanation, no, "I'm sorry I told half the family you were a manipulative freak for daring to give me feedback." Just, "Are you happy now?" That's it. 3 words, no punctuation, not even a question mark. It hit like a slap, not because I felt guilty, but because it was so perfectly Shirley. Even now, after the doc leaked, after she nuked her own interview with her own words, she was still trying to flip the script, still trying to make me the villain in her movie. I stared at that text for 5 minutes. Then I did what I probably shouldn't have done. I sent her a voice memo. No screaming, no sarcasm, just my voice, steady. I told her I never wanted her to fail, that I never set out to expose her or burn her reputation, that the Google Doc was for her and her alone, and that maybe if she'd taken 5 seconds to listen instead of perform, she'd know that. I ended it with, "I was your biggest fan, Shirley, and you turned me into a villain because it made the story cleaner. But real life isn't clean, and I'm done being your mess." She didn't reply. Instead, my mom called again. I didn't pick up. I already knew what the message would say. "She's hurting. Can't you just let it go? You're her brother." That's always the line, right? You're family. You're supposed to forgive. You're supposed to eat the blame, hold the silence, and say thank you for the scraps of grace they toss you afterward. But not this time. Because Shirley didn't just hurt me. She rewrote me. And I'm done living inside her story. The last time I saw Shirley in person, she was standing at the edge of our parents' driveway with a plastic tote full of old notebooks and sweaters that smelled like dust and lavender dryer sheets. She wouldn't come closer than 10 feet, like I was contagious. Like if she got too close, she might catch the truth. She didn't say anything at first, just stood there in her oversized hoodie like she was bracing for an impact that never came. I walked up, took the tote without looking at her, and started to turn away. "Wait," she said, voice smaller than I remembered. "I didn't mean for it to get this bad." I stopped, not turned, not softened, just stopped. "Then why?" I asked. "Did you make it this bad?" She shrugged, looked down at her shoes. "Because you made me feel stupid." I almost laughed. Not because it was funny, because it was so familiar. The Shirley special. Take your deepest insecurity, twist it into a weapon, and use it to justify everything. But I didn't laugh. I just let the silence stretch. "You could have said sorry," she mumbled. "I did," I said. "You just weren't listening." That broke something. I saw it. Her face twisted, mouth twitching like she couldn't decide if she wanted to cry or scream. "You humiliated me," she snapped. "You made me feel like a joke, and then you let people think I lied about you." I blinked. "You told them I manipulated you, that I tried to sabotage you on purpose, Shirley, you erased me. You went full scorched earth and now you're mad that the smoke drifted back into your lungs." I was scared. "Of what?" "Me." "No," she shouted. "Of not being good enough, of messing up, of you being right." And there it was. Raw, ugly, real. She was never mad about the tone comment. Not really. She was mad that it hit too close. That it wasn't just critique, it was a mirror. And instead of looking into it, she shattered it and called the shards my fault. I sighed. "You could have just talked to me." She shook her head. "I don't know how. You've always been the one who has it together." That almost made me laugh again. "Shirley," I said, "I live on instant ramen and caffeine pills. I've cried into my keyboard more nights than I'll admit. I'm not together. I'm just tired of pretending not to be." She wiped her nose with her sleeve, then finally met my eyes. "I messed up." "Yeah," I said. "You did." Silence again. This one didn't feel like a fight. It felt like an ending. Or maybe the start of something else, something cautious and frayed and breakable. "I'm not going to pretend everything's fine," I said. "But I'm not trying to ruin you either. That was never the point." She nodded. "I know. We stood there like two people who used to share a childhood and now only shared collateral damage. I wanted to believe we could fix it, that all the pain and drama could roll backwards, back into the throat, back into the past. But some things don't roll back. Some things break and stay broken. I hope you get the job." I said. I didn't, she whispered. They said I seemed reactive, like I was performing instead of engaging. I nodded once. Sounds familiar. She tried to smile. It almost worked. Are we okay? She asked. I don't know, I said. But we're honest. That's something. We didn't hug. We didn't cry. She walked back to her car. I walked back into mine. Two people driving in opposite directions, but maybe, no longer pretending the other doesn't exist. That night, I opened the Google Doc one last time. Deleted it. Not because I forgave her, not because it wasn't true, but because I didn't need it anymore. I had nothing left to prove. Thanks for sticking with this story. It wasn't clean, it wasn't easy, but it was real, and sometimes that's enough.